Hey Roberto, how are you?
Hey, Nir, very good, very good. Always great to catch up.
Yeah, we are already working remotely with each other, and now we have this Fintech Week, which is the main focus of the UAE in Israel, with all the relations that were just formed, and there's a lot of excitement in both ways. Of course, we're going to talk about that, but first, I want to understand before we dive even into Microsoft for Startups and everything that you're doing. Tell me a little
Mhm.
bit about yourself, even before, so people get to know you.
Sure, absolutely. So look, I've been spending my career in technology. I've been an entrepreneur myself, working in the founding team of an e-commerce platform long time ago. After some experiences in consulting, so moving from a stressful life to an even more stressful life, and then I had the opportunity to jump on a great company like Google. So I was part of DoubleClick, which was an acquisition from Google back in 2008. I joined in 2009. And it was an amazing ride. So helped to develop that business across Southern Europe, Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And then I focused more on emerging markets and relocated to Dubai 6 years ago. And I recently moved from Google to Microsoft to lead the Microsoft for Startups team across the Middle East and Africa region. And on the side, I'm also a general partner in a micro VC fund, very interested into the entrepreneurship ecosystem, very interested into emerging markets. So, younger population, different cultures, different opportunities around here. So very excited about, as you said, the normalization happening between Israel and UAE. Israel is a country I was managing in my portfolio as well before when I was at Google. So I've been interacting with the ecosystem there many times, and it's great to see this happening. So looking forward to the next steps in the journey.
Wow. And I know at least in Israel, the Microsoft for Startups guys are really active in helping, providing their own value. I'm sure you know them. These are your colleagues, so you probably
Yeah.
work with them. How is it? How is it over there? I mean, what is the ecosystem? What is the relations? How can you help startups with Microsoft for Startups?
Yeah, look, it's slightly, I would say, different than what Raz and the team have there in Israel, right? So it's a different ecosystem. Is more is earlier stage for sure, and the availability of early stage funding and the abundance of in terms of purely number of startups is just different, especially as we focus on enterprise startups. Still, there is a journey ahead to see more quality and more startups in this ecosystem. Still, I believe the opportunity is here as well, because since I've been living here for a long time now, I see, the quality of startups that are coming out of this ecosystem is just increasing. The government is very much involved into shifting economy. So startups in terms of creating new jobs, startups in terms of creating new innovation and building something from the region to the rest of the world is something that the government is really keen on. Also, the speed at which government can make decision here is really amazing. So I believe there are the ingredients to evolve this ecosystem to the next level. And we as Microsoft for Startups is similar. Our engagement is similar to what the team is doing in Israel. The thing is we have less number of startups in late stage, so we focus with the same criteria, but most of the startups are a little bit earlier stage in this part of the world. So we extend the same program. So basically we focus on B2B startups. And for the ones that meet our criteria, so B2B startups that are VC funded and revenue generating, we can onboard them into our global program where we nurture them, both giving them access to technology, which includes Microsoft Azure, building on the cloud, but also other Microsoft solutions, and giving them access to markets, which is where we probably differentiate a lot in terms of building that journey and taking B2B startups along the journey, meaning we take the B2B startups first on the marketplace, where we aim them to list their solutions, offer trials, but also becoming transactable, which means they will become more appealing to enterprises. We help them with go-to-market. And for the ones that have traction with clients, we aim to turn them into partners. so that the alignment with our team and Microsoft becomes longer term, because our teams, our Microsoft partners, have an incentive to help selling with Microsoft the co-sell ready startups. So the startups that become co-sell ready, they are partners. We can help them close deals. So basically we can extend their sales team, we can accelerate their growth. And this is where the value is realized. I think we passed the $1 billion revenues in pipeline opportunities from co-sell ready startups globally, which tells, I mean, this is real value, right? So what founders really need is sales revenues and accelerating sales, or tapping into markets where they need some help. And us as a global company, we have built alignment internally to ensure that this is going to happen. So we are excited about bringing all of this program to the region. And beyond that, we are looking at the ecosystem from a broader perspective. So we also have initiatives to give voice to underrepresented founders, female founders. We invest a lot into social entrepreneurship, AI for good, and also accessibility is something that the region here is very much keen to support. So we have, of course, beyond the core program, we have a number of different initiatives where we really want to connect the dots across different stakeholders in the ecosystem and help this ecosystem thrive and become more mature as we speak.
Partnerships, collaborations that you have with other stakeholders in what you call the ecosystem. You want to mention some of the important players, the ingredient?
Absolutely. Actually, we strongly believe in partnership and building on each other's strengths. Actually, this is in the DNA of Microsoft, I would say. So here in the UAE specifically is great because the commitment Microsoft put into this country is really amazing. We invested a lot into Abu Dhabi, for example, and Dubai. We invested into data centers. So we have local data centers, 2 data centers, one in Dubai, one in Abu Dhabi, that are able to sustain the growth of this region and also allow startups or businesses in regulated industries, for example, to make sure that data is compliant, data is stored locally, and everything is safe and secure. At the same time, on top of that, we built partnerships to make sure we could bring all of this innovation to life. So in Abu Dhabi, for example, we are partnered with Hub 71 and Mubadala and Abu Dhabi Investment Office in order to build the tech ecosystem in Abu Dhabi. So these players are really keen to attract international startups, tech talent into the UAE and specifically in Abu Dhabi to build the next wave of entrepreneurs, the next wave of startups and innovation in the capital. So we are very excited about this partnership because this partnership really connects the dots across public and private sector in Abu Dhabi. And we are able to bring our expertise. We are able to represent the technology partner to make sure we are bringing that expertise to build scalable solutions, to build reliable, fast, and secure solutions, and to give access to market and go to markets for the startups that will be joining there. At the same time, we are also committed to Dubai. We have many partnerships that we signed also here in Dubai, which is also a thriving ecosystem. We did this interesting partnership with Intellect, which basically Intellect Hub comes out of the partnership this year with Emirates and Dubai Tourism as funding partners, and Accenture and Microsoft as well. And the Intellect launched the first accelerator on top of the incubator that they already launched a few years ago. And this year, I'm very happy. I've seen 3-4 startups from Israel that were selected. So very looking forward to collaborate with the startups there. This is a very industry focused partnership because the Intellect aims to be the global hub for aviation, tourism, hospitality. At the same time, we are working with other stakeholders here in the ecosystem, from regulators, ADGM, Abu Dhabi Global Markets in Abu Dhabi, DIFC, the financial center in Dubai. So we are really keen to embed our presence, our technology, and make sure the ecosystem can really thrive. And we're really keen to have startups coming also from abroad here, bringing their expertise, enjoy the benefits of being in an ecosystem like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, where there is a solid vision to the future, and a great leadership to drive the policy needed to enable entrepreneurs to build here and export from here to the rest of the world.
Of course, we are a fintech summit, and I believe. I mean, I saw the first delegations between Israel and the UAE were the banks, right, and the fintechs. These were the first who were flying in both ways, opening up new bridges of opportunities in fintech. I'm excited about fintech. I'm seeing what's happening globally. You're seeing what's happening globally. Microsoft has a big role in fintech right now. And by the way, you mentioned some great companies from the UAE to me when I asked you who are the players who are leading fintech, not necessarily the banks, but the fintech companies. What can you tell me about the fintech opportunity? Of course, I understand that you are serving several segments, not just fintech, because you mentioned also other segments. But what is the role of fintech here?
Absolutely, a great point, and this fits into the week, right? It's a fintech week, so definitely we are agnostic in terms of we work with different industries, but definitely fintech, financial services, is one of the largest industry we are investing in this region, because there are a number of great startups that are coming out of the region. And also the relationship with the regulators, for example, we mentioned before ADGM and the AFC here in the UAE, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, they are really ahead of the curve. So they are really investing to be very innovative and to allow an environment where fintechs can tap into and build this collaboration with financial institutions in a smoother way, which is beautiful. I mean, the investment that they did into building a thriving environment and a secure environment for fintechs to develop and build their solutions is really key. At the same time, you mentioned some of the key stakeholders. For sure, on one hand, we have the private sector in terms of financial institutions, banks. I agree with you. I've seen some of the banks I used to work with as clients in Israel, but they were the first coming here. Here as well, there are financial institutions that are really keen to tap into innovations. There are banks that already started the process of building end-to-end digital processes. There are already banks and insurance institutions, for example, that are already working with startups on their innovation projects. So this is, I would say, at the board level of these institutions, the vision and the mandate to look at innovation and build new customer experiences and leveraging startups, I would say it's already agreed. It's more now a matter of execution, of leadership coming down to the management and making sure management can really execute on that mandate. But the region is really transforming in that sense. Having our data centers locally and being the only player having this opportunity, I would say for fintech, even more than other verticals, it's a no-brainer, right? So building on Azure here, having all the data compliant and secure, and leveraging on services, cloud services to manage the data properly is something that is extremely important for fintechs. And then we have the main character of the story, right? The fintechs. So looking at the region at large, there is a lot of consciousness and attention to financial inclusion, and also financial literacy, right? So UAE is peculiar because it's a country that is mainly made of expats with local nationals, right? So the financial literacies might be very high, but other countries around still are facing issues with financial literacy that comes with the opportunity, because having a younger population around, and the opportunity is big for fintech to tap into that problem and build on top of that, considering also financial inclusion. So this is one thing. The other thing is there are brilliant solutions, whether it comes to buy now, pay later solutions, or digital lending, or payment gateways that are evolving to really tap into more the lifestyle and consumer businesses, which is great. There is the concept of open banking and APIs that is also spreading here in the region. So there are many ideas out there. There is the whole remittances, for example, remittance solutions for remittances. There are a couple of 2 or 3 great startups that are working on solutions for that. So I would say that there is plenty of people, probably also for the background of experts that were coming here in the UAE, whether it was banking or consulting, they had great expertise on the financial services industries. So there is a breadth of ideas and solutions that founders, entrepreneurs are working on in fintech, which makes it very attractive, very interesting. So we are just looking forward to enable this knowledge transfer, knowledge sharing, having now even two countries coming together for the first time and sharing their expertise across this vertical. I'm sure there will be a lot of insights we can take away out of the event and build on that as well as a follow-up.
Yeah, I think you have a very important role into building these new fintech bridges between the nations, of course, other nations. More than a month ago, we had the Fintech Nation Summit, and we had lessons, about, as you said, open banking, regulators from all the major nations of fintech, creating these fintech bridges. And now we decided to focus in Israel and the UAE. And I see a lot, a lot of the partners that we have, and we had, like you're saying, Microsoft and Visa investing a lot in this region, right?
Yep.
Building up these blocks for the next, evolution, the next phase in fintech, which is open banking, later open finance, of course. And you have a critical role here, and you're helping the startups. And I got an amazing vibe from your team. I just reached out, and it felt like in Israel. It felt like somebody really wants to build that bridge together.
Yep.
In terms of seizing the opportunity, in terms of thinking about the next partners and the banks, because you have relationships all over that region. And by the way, most of the great companies that we got here on the summit from the UAE came from your recommendation, and they thank me, but I have to thank you, because when I wanted to understand who are the who's and who's, you connected me. And I have to say that at least if I can be like a startup and I'm applying to you for more than just the regular service, the networking, the network, the partnerships you mentioned, that's the role that you're playing, right? In connecting and making the ecosystem thrive.
Yeah, look, I 100% agree with that. Meaning, what makes an early stage ecosystem thrive is definitely there should be this abundance of ideas and startups that can flourish. Right? So there should be an ecosystem that allow them to build their ideas, even if some of them and maybe the majority of them are going to fail. But there should be this abundance of, because that will enable the sharing of knowledge, inspire founders to do something different, to learn from each other, etc. Then, of course, the quality should go up, and this is more a critical factor, right? Whereas the number of startups is more an enabling factor, but the quality should go up, and that comes with, again, exposing the openness of these two countries. So this ecosystem, I'm sure that at the end of the day is just increasing the overall quality of the solutions we will see in the next wave of innovation, right? Also, the availability of early stage funding for this early stage ecosystem is something that is important to evolve. But at the end of the day, as you were saying, it's really looking at partnership with an open approach, because it doesn't make sense to reinvent the wheel where some other great founder or solution startup have already identified a good solution for a specific problem, right? So it's just building on top of each other. And that comes with a situation like this week, where we can share knowledge, present startup solutions, inspire, founders with ideas, or, give visibility to stories that are not necessarily promoted enough. So I believe this is the way to go. This is where we are trying to embed. I'm glad to receive your feedback that it feels like working in Israel.
Excellent feedback. I'm telling you, Israelis are very honest. We say what we feel, and I'm happy.
I know that.
It's live, and everybody are seeing us, and we are very happy to be partners of you. And we are planning together a fintech hackathon that will be next year, which we want to do with the right players together. So yeah, I mean, this is the partners that I wish that I have. If I'm making an initiative like that, I need to have the local partners, the people on the ground who can really pull this off and make things happen. How many people do you have on your team there?
So we had to delay our hiring because of COVID, because when COVID hit in March, basically immigration was put on hold. So the team started joining in July. So now we have already 5 people that joined, and we are growing. So we're looking at really investing into this region. and building a solid foundation for the next growth and expansion. So the team is great. I mean, you met some of them. They come from their experience in the ecosystem. Yeah, some of them have built a corporate venture fund. Others have been entrepreneurs for multiple times. Others have been advisors to senior people in institutions like regulators in the ecosystem, etc. So they are bringing on board, solid expertise to make sure we can really focus on initiatives that can have an impact. So I would say we are not going after numbers just for the sake of onboarding thousands of startups and give them credits and try to hook startups early on just because our strategy is different. As we said before, we aim to select and identify startups that we can really add value to, right? So whether it's with technology or with go-to-market, access to markets, and accelerating the growth and sales. So this is the vision. As you said, this comes with collaboration. This comes with relationship partnerships. So it's connecting the dots across maybe sometimes ideas or initiatives that already exist, but not in a meaningful way, in the sense that maybe they are disconnected, right? So the beauty of it is when the ecosystem come together and the power of these communities come together to help each other at the end of the day and create new jobs, create new waves of innovation. As we said before, the leadership and government in this part of the world, they're really keen to invest and to make sure that there is innovation coming out of this region. So the time is exciting, despite the challenges of the pandemic, right? Which has been a number of people for sure, but still we need to look forward. We need to invest into whatever is going to create impact for a society at large. And fintech will definitely be one of those industries where we will see more innovation coming in the next years.
I love it. How can people get in touch with you, apply? Where is the best way? The website, everything?
Yeah, look, we have a website that is going to be announced very soon, so that will be available. Meanwhile, you can reach out directly to myself, to my team. We can share either our email alias or the link for startups to apply to the program. All of this will be again on the website. As soon as announced, we will be able to share the link. But meanwhile, again, feel free to email me or my team, or we have an alias as a team as well, and we can share as well the link to the application form as a follow-up. We also have some social media channels on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We are doing our best to share with the community whatever stories and feedbacks or insights we think are relevant, and we are eager to receive feedback as well. So it's not one way, it tends to be a conversation. So looking forward to receive feedback, encourage people to get in touch. We are very much open to this, to develop and build something that is going to be relevant for the community.
I love it. I love the energy of you and your team. Same spirit, the DNA. I just love it. And I'm very happy to partner with you, to work with you, to do something together, to think about other initiatives together. Also, the fact that we have the Israeli team really helps, because you guys know how to work together and really push things and promote it and bring other ecosystem players on board. And again, also great feedback from the company that you sent me. First, that we have them on the summit, it says a lot. And second, they were all very thankful. And again, this is the opportunity. You give them exposure to new partnerships, to new deals, to new clients. This is what we do here. We give them the stage, right?
Yep. The stage is all for the founders. For us, the key stakeholder here. There are many ecosystem players, but the key stakeholder is the founder, right? The founder is doing the hard job. It's people tend to forget that building a startup is hard, right? So still a number of startups fail, and being it through the ups and downs and believing in your idea and going against all the feedback and making that happen is really hard. So whatever we can do to help founders thrive and have exposure and tell their story. I mean, this is, especially in this part of the world, I would say, we need more of the stories, more beyond the usual suspects, right? Because again, in the Middle East, we don't have many exits or unicorns as elsewhere. So usually the stories are all around them, which is great. I mean, it's awesome. But there are already some other startups with their stories that are really key. They have been having success. They've been going through compromises. They have great stories to tell. So whatever situation we have to expose them and tell their stories and build new connections and expose them to new markets, new partners, I think is really some added value we can help them with, and we are more than happy to do that.
Amazing, Roberto. You did a great job, and I'm very happy, and good luck to us, basically, and all the team over there. Can't wait to meet in person and have you here in Tel Aviv, of course, with us.
Same here. Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait. Looking forward. Food is amazing on both sides of the journey. So no, looking forward indeed, and looking forward to the FinTech Week, and looking forward to the feedback from people attending. If you have any ideas, any feedback, reach out. We are more than eager to listen and to build something that is relevant for the community.
Great. Talk to you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nir. Looking forward. Bye-bye.